VA when I retired and moved to Florida. And I learned, you have to learn the system. It's just like if you, for example, say, Josh, that you get hurt and you have to go out into community hospital. Well, you have to see a primary care physician, to see a consult, to see a neurologist.
That's correct.
Or an orthopedic surgeon. It's the same thing at the VA. You know, you have to get consults. Once you learn to use the system properly, it works for you. You just can't show up at the VA one morning and say, listen, I need to see an orthopedic doctor. I need something for my legs, or I need a neurologist.
Right.
I have a problem with my spine. No, you have to see a primary care doctor, get your consult, follow the procedures. It's no different than in the military.
Oh, my
Life
gosh.
is
You hit the
procedures.
nail on the head right there.
Life is procedures, rules, and regulations. And if you can't follow them, you're not ever going to achieve anything in life. I'm a big believer in that. I don't care if you're a civilian in the military or what. You have to learn to follow rules and regulations and procedures. And it's not that hard to do for somebody that's been in the military.
That's right.
You know that,
right.
Okay? I hear some veterans say, well, I don't want to go to the VA. It takes so. I said, have you ever went out and stayed at a regular hospital, see how long it takes you to get in the emergency room? Or see how long it takes you to see a psychological doctor or a neurologist?
They have not.
A lot longer than it takes at the VA.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, I say it all the time. I use that old Jocko analogy. You know, we have to, in our veteran community, become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And when you're talking about that call to action, that, you know, the ability to make sure that you're doing the rules, the procedures, the things that, doing things the way that they should be done, it may not be easy, but life isn't easy. Right, Gunny?
No.
So we've got to tell our brothers and sisters to keep fighting.
Life has never been easy, and the majority, and I'm speaking this really from the heart, the majority of us Vietnam veterans, and I'm not feeling sorry for us, but we went through hell. I mean, I wasn't always doing things what I'm doing. I mean, I got messed up when I got out, and then went back in the military, and then I got messed up when I got out again. I mean, I had issues where I felt like somebody was chasing me from place to place. I'd never stay in. I wouldn't live in one place for no longer than maybe a couple of weeks or a month. I'd move. I mean, I was involved with hard drugs. I'm being honest with you.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just lucky I'm alive. But you know what? One day I woke up, and you know what? I quit everything on my own. I said, wait a minute. What am I doing? I'm destroying my life.
Right.
Nobody else's. Nobody else cares of what I'm doing to myself. Only you got to care about yourself for other people to care about you. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Amen.
Down inside, you have to care about yourself, and then they know you're caring about other veterans. So.
Well, and
you have to have support at home too. You have to have support. I know you have a good wife. I have a wife that supports me. She knows my problems. You know, I didn't always have that person in my life, and that makes a big thing with veterans that have medical and issues with PTSD. I'll tell you that right now.
I couldn't agree more. And, you know, the thing about it is, first and foremost, the ability to open up and talk to somebody. We say it on this podcast all the time. You got to communicate. You know, you have to have that open dialogue. And once you start opening up and talking about things with yourself, or even to your friend or a veteran or your physician at the VA or even outside the VA, when you start opening up and talking about it, you start healing. That's a huge part of it. Is breaking that down.
That's a big healing process.
It is.
Very big healing process.
It is. So, Gunny, you know, this is the Veterans for Cannabis podcast, and let's talk a little bit about cannabis now. As you and I both know, and I think most of our listeners understand, that cannabis is not an option for us through the Veterans Administration. So
Not yet, it's not. Not yet, it's not, but very soon, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
That.
You want to go ahead and expand on that a little bit?
Well, right now, I know several service organizations, the American Legion, the Disabled American Vets, the Paralyzed Veterans of America, and Vietnam Veterans of America. They have a big push, and we've got departments. When I say departments, that's just like a body of the headquarters of each state, a department of the Legions and DAVs across the country. They've already voted on the floor. 38 departments across the U.S. have voted to get medical marijuana and cannabis pushed to legalize so it can be used in the states, and the American Legion, all these organizations are backing it. Now, when the organizations back it, then they go to their congressional and senatorial delegates and push for it. Now, the doctors at the VA can't don the fact that you're using medical marijuana or CBD or anything like that. But if you let your doctors know, like I have mine, I'm going to tell you something right now, CBD and RSO, which I don't smoke medical marijuana, but I take RSO, which is the dark oil, the THC in the evening. That has saved my life with my problems. I was on opiates from the VA. I was on all kind of stuff. It didn't do nothing to cause problems. I finally have my life back thanks to you guys. And when I say you guys, you young veterans, you for one, Josh, some of your brothers down here in Florida, and some of the guys that were around years ago out in Colorado and California that I got hooked up with. And you know what? It's growing. I mean, you've seen what we did in Florida.
Absolutely.
One governor and one Department of Agriculture chairman made a difference. We already got medical marijuana legalized down here. Next, and it's going to be done, I'd say by December or February of next year, recreational be. We've got to push to get the federal government to do it. Then the VAs cannot say veterans, well, they can't say you can't do it, first of all.
That's correct.
You tell your doctor, okay, but if it shows up in your blood and your doctor doesn't know about it, then they can red flag you. But if you let your doctors know, my doctors know that I do that. And I'm going to tell you, I've had no problems. I get blood work done. I get treated at the VA.
No, and I think that's the key, Gunny, is our brothers and sisters have to understand that they can have that dialogue now where the rules have changed. It used to be no, you couldn't have that conversation. Now it's encouraged. And that's what we encourage from Veterans for Cannabis standpoint. That's our message. Hey, have that conversation with your physician. That's what you need to do.
Right. In each state, right now, every state's working on their own to get it going, to get it passed. And the majority of states are really pushing for the medical cannabis and to get passed. And once that's done, it's just a matter of time until the other is done. But the thing is, when they see the healing and what it's doing, I mean, I see in Florida, and then I'll see on national TV stations, how many, not just veterans, young kids, I'm talking 12, 13, 14, even younger, they're getting candy laced with fentanyl, heroin.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. It's killing people. Wake up.
Nobody's ever died.
Nobody's ever died from a flower or a plant.
That's right.
Okay? I mean, it's time these, and I call them relics. We have some people that are serving as congressmen and senators that need to get out and have some new young blood put in. We need we have some young veterans, Afghan and Iraq vets, that are congressional people right now. We need to get more young people in those offices because, you know, some people they have a different mindset. It's all right to drink yourself to death, but know that you can't work with medical marijuana. Well, you know what? We're not living in the 30s and 40s and 50s anymore. Times have changed.
That's exactly right, Gunny. We've got a couple more minutes left, and one of the things I want to hit on real quick is what you just said with the alcohol. You know, I was a functioning alcoholic for decades, and I've been 5.5 years sober now. That's a big benefit and a quality of life improvement for me. Can't tell you what cannabis has done for me, just in the ability to, one, keep away from alcohol, and two, improve my quality of life. Does cannabis do the same thing for you, Gunny?
Well, it has changed. It has changed my outlook and my lifestyle. I was never really a hardcore drinker. I drank beer a lot, but when I was involved with the opiates and stuff, you know, you really didn't know how much you were drinking. You were drinking more than what you needed to drink, first of all. But you know what? I don't drink at all anymore. I mean, I was out with my wife, I think 2 weeks ago we went out, and I ordered a beer for some reason. I took 2 sips and gave it to her. I don't even have the desire to drink a beer. Right. Anything. I never really was into alcohol, but I mean, I drank beer for a while, but it changed my lifestyle. I have a different outlook on life, and I try to explain that to a lot of people. Listen,
You know, I think what you said, Gunny, is the biggest part of it. That's getting involved. When you talk about changing the lifestyle, the sedentary life where we're sitting in front of our television or we're letting the benzos make us a zombie and not get outside of our lives, that doesn't help anything at all. We've got to get involved, whether it's Veterans for Cannabis, American Legion, DAV, IAVA, whomever you get involved with somebody, right? I mean, that's a big part of it.
Well, even if it's in the community, if you live in an area that really out in a rural area that there's no veteran service organizations, get involved with the Red Cross. Anything you can help the community with.
That's right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a veterans service organization. Anything that you can help the community with. And just to touch base on one other thing, you know, it's people. Some people don't realize they have a drinking problem. Some people, they drink constantly, and I'm not going to mention names. I have some friends, and my wife and I, we go on different things to go with them. They put alcohol in their coffee in the morning,
right?
But they don't have a drinking problem. They don't think.
Right.
You know, it gets to a point where you don't think you have a problem, but you do. You got it. You got to take that stand one day and say, listen, man, all these bottles get dumped down the drain, all the opiates get flushed down the toilet, and you know what? I want to change my life, and I want to help change other people's lives.
Boom.
And only through communication, like you do, your organization, our organization, and all of us veterans. I don't care how old we are, whether you're red, black, green, yellow, white, male, female, transsexual, whatever. You work to help each other as a veteran community.
That's what it's about.
That's what it is. And you know what? For our planet to survive and us to live the proper life, it's got to work, buddy. That's the only way it can work.
You're right, Gunny. And we got to close there. Gunny Dave Miller, I can't say thank you enough, sir, for taking the time. You've served this country, and you continue to serve your brothers and sisters to this day. We can't say thank you enough. Thank you for everything, sir.
All right, and thank you. I'm glad I met you finally, brother, because we have a lot of areas and forests to knock down. We do. We have a lot of things to accomplish, man.
Absolutely, Gunny. We're going to press forward. Take care, sir.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Line over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere, so prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware, we'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there, over there.